Good evening out there. Good evening out there. Welcome to another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth. I'm your host, Mr. Z, and my co-host, the Fifth General. What's up, God? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad day in hip hop and just music in general and just culture, you know. Let the audience know what we're gonna be talking about today. I think people kind of get where we're going. What this episode is going to be about.
We're doing this in the remembrance of DMX.
Yeah.
Earl, Simmons, DMX. We embrace the brother. You know, Earl, Simmons, DMX. That's what we're dedicating the show to. So, yeah man.
This young brother, and I do say young in a respectful way because 50's young, passes away. Reports are saying alleged drug overdose, but I don't know what that's about. I'm not going to get into that. This show is not about that. But we're just going to pay a tribute to his life and the positive things, his music, his impact. He was an icon. There's not too many icons that you get all the time, especially in hip-hop. They're great artists that we have in our career of hip-hop, lifetime of hip-hop. But how many people are icons? DMX was an icon. You know what I'm saying? And DMX is one of those. Shout outs to Ed Lover. Ed Lover was on his page, on his IG, and he said that God sometimes makes a one of one, meaning that one unique person there is, and as a lifetime goes on, another one of that is not duplicated or created again. And I do get what he's saying. So, in his examples, he said was, that he said Tupac was a one of one. No one before him, no one after him. Biggie Smalls and Notorious B.I.G. was a one of one. He was unique with his short career. So that definitely speaks something. And he said Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, those were his Prince. He said those were his examples of one of ones. And I would have to say that for DMX as well. He's a one of one. He had his own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is when I was a kid, when Pac got killed and when DMX career started to really just take off around 90, 98 and all of that. And a lot of people were saying, hey, is DMX that next Tupac? Not so much that he's Tupac the person, but they were saying, could he be that next unique legend? And you know what? I would say that it makes sense now. And the people were right, because X did become like that one icon that stands alone. And at one point, he was the biggest hip-hop star. Oh, he was over everybody, even people who came out before him. You know what I mean? Like, he had that impact. Zacchaeus, share what you wanted to say about him before we go deeper.
DMX was a kind of artist that as soon as you turn on there's many artists that stands out, and DMX is one of the artists that stand out. As soon as you hear his voice, you automatically know it's him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like some artists you hear them and you can't really tell who it is. DMX was one of those artists that as soon as you turn on his music, he could be a mixtape, a sea of music, but you could tell DMX music from the rest of the other artists because that's how unique DMX was. His persona, his the way how he delivered his lyrics to a song, to his music, to the music in the background, to the instrumentals. It's like, I cannot see. Maybe might see that one of his kids in the future, but I cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking when I was driving today to the studio, I was saying to myself, who's gonna replicate that voice?
Yeah.
I mean, thank God for music, because music, we die, but our music don't die.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when I think about DMX is an artist that he is definitely a unique artist. I mean, ain't no, and that's what it's. You know what? When people talk about that special one, when they talk about that special one, there's always in a Steve. Every generation of music has a special one, and they have many special ones in hip hop, few special ones in hip hop, and DMX definitely is in the top. Definitely is one of the top 5 when it comes to the special ones, because the special ones is the artists that they're not trying to sound like nobody else. They're not mimicking nobody else. They have their own unique style, no matter what style is in. No matter what style is in, it like is popping right now, or is happening right now. This DMX is gonna stick to who he is, and DMX is gonna stick to his style. And it's like, wow, it's like you look at that and you're like, yeah. And there's very few. There's a few artists like that. And I find that DMX came. I would say DMX came. Let's say 97, 98. DMX came at the end of the golden era of hip hop, because he came because I think the early 2000s is considered maybe the golden era of hip hop, but DMX definitely is one of the last.
Let me just say
the last golden era of hip hop for sure.
Let me just say, in the beginning, the early 90s was the golden era, but it's okay to say that at this point you could say the whole 90s is probably the golden era, but the golden era was always the early 90s. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like his unique sound will always be remembered, because from generations to come. And you see, he has young kids right now that may not remember him. They may see him, but when you're so young, you're 4 years old, and you're so young, but you'll always have his music. Just like Bob Marley kids today have his music. And so much, and artists that pass away, that have children, that have children, they have their music to hold on to, and that's what DMX has left with us: his music and his movies. That's what he left with us. So I just want to applaud DMX and say thank you for just contributing that and contributing himself. So definitely, yeah.
So let's talk about his albums. His first album is It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Classic album, man. Classic album. You know what I'm saying? That's where we know him from. Rough Riders Anthem, Get At Me, Dog. You know what I'm saying? How It's Going Down. Stop Being Greedy. That's X, man. X when he first came out, he took the world by storm, you know what I'm saying? And that first album, dropped in 98, it's a lot, man. He had that voice, that image. He resonated with the streets, you know what I'm saying? He resonated with real people, you know what I mean? And he had a rough life, man. He had a rough life, and being through what he went through and where he's at today, from his beginning to his career, to the end of his last projects. I mean, X for the most part was consistent, you know what I'm saying? And he was excited about doing more music, getting his health and everything back together. He looked excited. He looked happy, you know what I'm saying? He looked happy. And, we're going to miss that about him. Yeah, we back. We had a technical difficulty, but Zacchaeus is back. We were just going over DMX's albums. I just wanted to kind of get into that topic. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned As Dark as Hell is Hot. You know, his first album. You know what I'm saying? Rough Riders Anthem. That album was, Get At Me Dog. Now, Zacchaeus, that album was a big deal back then, remember?
Oh man, it had some serious joints on there, man.
Yeah.
Get At Me Dog. That album that album Get Me At Me. I like what attracted me to that album was the cover.
Right.
Yeah, DMX. Yeah, that's what really attracted me to the cover.
Yeah.
So
let's go over the tracks. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to do a rundown. So intro was banging, but we all know the single "Rough Riders Anthem."
Yes.
Effing with D. We got The Storm. That's a skit. Look Through My Eyes. Track 5. Track 6. Get At Me Dog. Everybody loved that one. You know what I mean? Other than Rough Riders Anthem. But Get At Me Dog was like his first. So I think that was the first video, because I think Get At Me Dog was a video before Rough Riders Anthem. I think Get At Me Dog was the first single. Let Me Fly, X Is Coming, Damien, How It's Going Down. How It's Going Down, big single. Type of games being played on How It's Going Down. If it's all for the money, then I got to know that.
Yeah, good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that was a big, that was a big single. You know what I mean?
It was released in '97, but
98. So Mickey,
98, yeah.
We got the Mickey skit, 12 Crime Story, 13 Stop Being Greedy, another big single.
I love that joint. Stop being greedy. That joint partner, right there.
Give to the needy.
I'm telling you, that joint right there gets you hyped. Stop being greedy. Girl, is this the whole flow and the joint? It makes you just that's what you call a banger moment, like a nod your head moment right there. That joint is crazy, man. Stop being greedy.
Stop being greedy. ATF for my dogs. I could feel it. The prayer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The first prayer that he did on this album. The convo, deep joint. And then we got, niggas done started something. But yeah, this album was a very impactful album. So a lot of people love this album. I'm one of them. This is my favorite album from DMX. Is his first one. And it was his career is so remarkable, starting out that in that same year, at the end of the year, he was able to put out, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people were able to Billboard chart 2 albums in the same year, calendar year. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
and a lot of people now, there are people who are familiar with this album because one of his biggest songs ever is on this album, and that is Slippin'.
Oh, slipping. Gotta get there. Yeah.
It's one of his biggest songs ever in life. And let's give DMX his credit. He never did stuff for the radio, man. Like he never the radio played him, but he wasn't like a commercial dude. He wasn't like he had commercial success, but he never was like, I'm gonna just do a song for the radio. Right. That wasn't his style.
Yeah.
And think about it. He kept other artists on their toes, man, because he did real stuff, and other artists realized, oh man, they realized, oh, we got to keep it real too. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, even with the song called "Slippin'," he's telling us. I listened to that song carefully. I always, when I tune into that song and listen to that song carefully, it's like he's telling a story about his life, man. I mean, he's breaking down his life and what he went through in his life. So when an artist can do, let me tell you something. Yeah. It's not like the art of storytelling, man. Yeah. When them your songs, man. Yeah. Well, you could do that. Fifth we did that in our last project.
Yeah.
When you could tell a story in your song, man. That's he's expressing his life in that song. Yeah. Slipping, gotta get in. It's like you tune in, but that song always grooves you. And not only is good, but he's telling you it's not it's a tune that you bop in your head, but you also listening to the storyline too.
Yeah.
Great song, man. I'm telling you, timeless music DMX gave us, and we thank him for that one, for real. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna miss X, man. You know what I mean? Yo, now remember Belly.
Oh
DMX
yeah, I watched that movie more than one time. Okay,
so we got
more than one time I watched that movie.
We got to see also another side of DMX growing up, and that is his seeing his career grow up, and that is him also being an actor.
Yeah,
you know, and that was his first movie. This was before Exit Wounds and Cradle to the Grave. But Belly, that's what put him on the map as far as being an actor.
That movie.
Yeah.
Young people, if you never seen Belly, you gotta watch it more. That movie, you can watch it more than one time. I watched that movie more than one time. When it first came out, I watched it, and then I continued watching it on cable TV. When it tuned in, I just said, you know what, I gotta watch Belly again, man. This movie's a classic.
Popular music video director Hype Williams. That was his first movie.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
Classic, man. The DMX, Louis Ranks that played Ox.
Yeah.
Rest in peace too.
Nas, Method Man.
Nas. Meth,
T-Boss from TLC.
T-Boss with TLC.
Yeah.
And the shorty from the Bronx Tale.
Terrell Hicks.
Terrell Hicks, yeah. Big up to them, man. Yo, I'm telling you, that movie is a timeless. If you want to, DMX played the mess out of that movie, man. It's a timeless film, classic film that you can watch. Like, I mean, I had to watch that film maybe about 10 times, man.
Well,
that movie, that's good, man.
And the interesting thing about DMX is that, when you're watching a movie, he just seemed like he's just being himself. You know what I mean? But Hype was able to get a performance out of him, and it was natural to X. You know what I mean? Because then you saw his performance in Exit Wounds, and then you start to see him grow as an actor when he did Cradle to the Grave. And I mean, he was let me not forget, he had parts in Romeo Must Die. I don't want to forget that. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Romeo Must Die. You know what I'm saying? Him acting with Aaliyah. And not
a classic, not a classic film. Yeah,
rest in peace, Aaliyah, man.
Rest in peace, Romeo Must Die. Jet Li, I think Jet Li was in it.
Jet Li was in Romeo.
Jet Li, Aaliyah. Yeah, so he's gonna be. This I don't know, to have X out of hip hop now is like, you know what, X will always remain in hip hop. X will always have a Mount Rushmore in hip hop, no matter what.
You know what's interesting? Not too many rappers can get solidified as quick as he did. He got solidified fast in the rap game.
Oh yeah, quick. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
true. I mean, he's a household name already.
Yeah.
How you come out and already your household name? Big up to the Rough Riders that represented DMX. Big up to the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Big them up. For real.
Yeah.
It's like
X is linked to so many artists, careers. I mean, whether it's him through with somebody or them through him. I mean, his career is, linked to Jay-Z, linked to Ja Rule, Eve, the Locks, Drag On, Cisco, you know what I mean? Even though Cisco was already had a name, but what I'm saying is, when you think of X, you think of that, what these want from him. You think of Cisco, you know what I mean, singing on the chorus, you know what I mean?
Let me tell you something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yo.
So many artists connected X, man. So many artists connected X. Yeah.
Fifth, I'm thinking about the joint, man. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about that. So
tell me that's a banger.
So now that was before his album dropped. But X had a strong debut, man. Now, a lot of people don't know, X started out earlier than that, he had a single. He was. I think he had like a deal. He wasn't with Def Jam yet, but he had a record called Born Loser. I think out in 91, 92. But then X was he got locked up or whatever. But his career, what we know from his career is the Def Jam Rough Riders era. You know what I'm saying? And 4-3-2-1. You know what I'm saying? His verse go like this: "You'll stay out the dark, because if I catch you with the sun is down, running clown, come up off that. I'm gonna gun it down. But now, it's gonna be that. You see that? We'll finish you, dog. We'll react. You know what I'm saying?
That's one, baby.
Would you handle your life as much as if you value your life as much as your possessions? Don't be a stupid. Learn your lesson. I'm gonna get the other way. It's better to give. Let me find what you can sock, because it's better to give. Receive. Believe what I say. What I tell you. Don't have to leave it around where nobody can smell you.
That's one, baby.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, yo.
This ain't a flick. You gonna come back strong. Wait, you ain't gonna come back. You ain't that strong. It was wrong. What you asked for, baby. You was ski mask for, baby.
That's one, baby. Yeah.
I kind of butchered. I butchered the verse a little bit, but it's so good. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember the brother. Man.
Yeah.
Yo, this man, let me tell you something. For me, as a young man, I've been a fan since day one. I remember just growing up in New York and just listening to X, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, when he first came out, yo, check this out. He's like, for me, like, X is like the soundtrack. Like, you know how we all have a musical soundtrack to our lives, and the artists that we admire growing up and listening to. X is one of those artists, you know what I'm saying? Grew up listening to him. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. I'm not saying DMX and Michael Jackson are the same people, but for me, both of these artists mean a lot to my life musically and everything. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
When I listen to X's music from the beginning, I think about my young days. You know what I mean? I think about when I was a kid and where I was when Stop Being Greedy, when Get At Me Dog and Rough Riders Anthem dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zacchaeus, man. Let me hear more, man. Let me hear some more stuff from you, man.
Yo, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. He came out with banger albums after banger albums.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's like Party Up was one of them. And you can't get enough.
Party Up was a major hit, and you know what's funny? Party Up was not a party record, but it just had that impact. You know what I mean? X talks about that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
That song particularly right there. I remember that song.
Yeah.
Every time they had a game, every time they had some kind of that song played, and it was an anthem because it played nonstop. Y'all gonna make me, and it's just like, yo, man. I mean, you can't get. It's like you hear that song. It's like, oh man, they go, din. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, and it's like, yo, man, y'all gonna make me lose my mind, and it's like, yo, oh man, and you hear that joint, and you're like, yo, man. I mean, it's like it's everybody. It don't matter what race, culture you are. You just get that vibe from that song, And it's like, oh man, that's you just get that vibe of it. People that's not even into hip hop get hype over that song. That's how much that song, that impact the world.
Yeah,
I won't be surprised if I hear it across the globe. Like, you go to Japan, you're like, up in, you hear like, oh, wow, man.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Party Up was in like almost every movie. Still to this day, you know what I mean? You'll hear Party Up on a TV show or a movie. You know what I mean? You hear that more than Rough Riders Anthem. From a commercial success standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that was off of DMX's third album. That's the thing. DMX became a legend quick. Like I was saying, sometimes it takes a lot of... There's only a few artists that we could say that about. He's one of them. How you become such a big star off of just your first album. You know what I'm saying?
that usually don't happen for a lot of people.
It don't.
No, it doesn't. You know, some people sometimes some people they die, then they become a legend with their music. Some people,
you're right.
you know, but X, man,
Yeah,
X
a living legend.
came out he was a living legend already.
Yeah, he came
a
out
living
the gate.
legend.
He came out the gate, man.
And remember,
Yeah.
on Versus,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? I would think that on when he was with Snoop Dogg on Versus, that was that right there. It gained so much views. It just tipped so much views. It just tipped the record scale. I enjoyed that. I watched the whole thing from top to bottom.
Let's talk about
that.
Let's talk about how happy he was, man.
X was happy. X was happy to be part of that. Man.
I love seeing that. He was just happy to be there, and you saw how happy Snoop was to do that with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I saw a joy in through all of X's struggles, privately and publicly, that we've seen. He looked happy, man. I was happy for him. Him happy made me happy. Seeing Snoop happy, seeing Swiss Beats happy, like
Tim and Swiss.
Oh man,
are happy. You know why they're happy? Because they made X a part of that, and I know because I know they're happy. I know that.
Absolutely.
You know what? I know that right now they can truly say that they're happy because they made X a part of the Versus history. Yeah, and I know the other shadow of a doubt that Swiss and Tim are sitting back and say that, you know what? Yeah, X is gone, but you know what? We made him a part of our history.
Yeah.
And that to that right there is monumental, because it's like, man, you and that's the thing, man. When you see a legend, man, and when you see somebody that's different, you embrace them. You're like, wow, I gotta embrace this artist because you know, he's already X already impacted the world already. So now, you know, all his trials and tribulations and the struggles with drug addiction, the struggles were just the demons. He was able to still be part of the Verses. He was still able to be on film. He was still able to still give us
get back in the studio, do a couple songs before he left us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, man, I can, you know, I'm happy, man, because even before some people play his music after he's gone, but me and you,
we was playing it way before then. Yeah,
way before then. You know, I was listening to X way before then.
Yeah,
way before. I got excited about X when he got on 4, 3, 2, 1. I was like, yo, this is hot.
Yeah, classic,
you know,
classic record,
classic banger, you know classic banger.
Yeah,
for real. You know, and I know LL Cool J right now say that, he's a part of my history too, because you know, I did a record with the brother, and I'm happy.
Yeah. Method Man, Redman, Cannabis, you know, Master P. Yeah, they all share that history. And that song 4321 is one of the best hip hop collab records of all time.
Oh, I said that.
So we're talking about a record that is up there with, you know, Flavor in Your Ear remix and stuff like that, and also LL Cool J's other record, I Shot Your remix. So
that's a banger too,
right? And then X also, you know, his songs with the Locks, Mace, you know, 24 Hours to Live.
I remember that. Remember that joint?
Yeah,
man. 24 hours. What would you think? Yeah, man.
That, you know what I'm saying? His verse on Money, Power, Respect. You know, one of the Locks and Lil Kim's biggest songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this man has been a part of history. You know, the songs that he got with Aaliyah. I want to connect something because you mentioned Timbaland and Swiss, and this is what came to my mind. here we have Aaliyah who passed away years ago.
Yeah, 2001.
Aaliyah was very young. Aaliyah was very close to Timberland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Timberland and Swiss do verses. Timberland and Swiss have been friends for years, longer than what we know, but they've always been good with each other for a period of time, right? DMX and Aaliyah had a friendship, you know what I'm saying, before Aaliyah died.
Right.
Now X is gone. So we now have two people, one who's been gone and one who just left us, and they were all affiliated with each other. How about that?
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that something? Because they were close. I remember the tribute they did to Aaliyah.
Yeah, and X was all a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been so long to me.
Yeah.
I miss you. I'm missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then they got their very popular song together, Back in One Piece. If you mean that much to me, you make it back in one piece. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's a classic. That's a nice joint. I remember that joint. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
man. This is tragic, man. I hate this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it hurts, man. I really thought he was gonna pull through, but it hurts. It's like this, man. It's like it's gonna be in our subconscious, even when we sleep tonight, because it's like it's always gonna be in my subconscious, man, because X was a part of hip hop history,
Yeah.
It's like when Michael Jackson passed, he was a part of our history.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And Prince,
Black culture. Black culture in general, because we could talk about like music, but in Black culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is somebody who's world renowned, world known.
Yeah.
And he may not mean something to everybody, but he means something to a lot of people, X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people, we're gonna go on our ways, and you're gonna hear people say, "Oh, that rapper that died."
Yeah.
No, but he's to me,
he's more than just that,
and to you, he's more than just that.
More than just
X is more than just that.
Yeah.
X impact the culture, just the way how Rakim, the living legend right now, impact the culture of hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He impacts for the young people coming up from after the golden era, and the generation from '97 and on.
Yeah,
he's impact a new generation of hip hop listeners.
Yeah,
and just hip hop lovers in a whole.
Yeah,
that's why in my book he'll always be a legend in our book.
Yeah,
so and it's like, for the young people coming up, and they felt it too when X died. It's like, and big up to his fiance and his ex-wife that came up with the visuals. I was watching earlier today. They had the visuals out there in Yonkers, and they came out. They gathered in the crowd, and they said a prayer, because that's one thing with X. X prayed hard.
He believed, man, and I'm not here to judge that brother. But that man said that his Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and we always heard that his whole career.
Yes, he did say that.
That's why he did a prayer on every album, and we have our struggles too, but I do believe that he had a personal relationship with the Father. You know what I'm saying? He had a personal relationship with God, and hey, God gets the last say. You know what I'm saying? But I know exactly where X's faith was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he always, he to the best of his ability, man, and what he could do. And God had a lot of grace on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of grace on him, a lot of grace and mercy. And we were praying for a miracle, but you know what? In his, state since his heart attack, I would hope that he had a visit. You know what I'm saying? He told the Lord, hey, I'd rather just come home now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that for sure, but I just hope that whatever DMX had to do, whatever Earl Simmons had to do to make peace with before he went, I hope he made peace with that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
And so I'll have to be at peace with him being gone. So, but you know, just until we meet again. You know what I mean? Anything else you want to say, man? We're gonna wrap it up. But I don't want to like cut it short if you have.
I want to
say,
y'all, everybody who's listening, go tune into that song called "Lord Give Me a Sign."
Yeah.
Tune into that song. Tune in, listen to that song.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, give me a sign, because in my mind, I always felt that after I was praying that DMX make it. I was praying that X make it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Like make it, so he can make a. I'm waiting for this brother to make a gospel album.
Yeah, I think that was something that he was wanting to do. That was supposedly what he was trying to do with this last project. Rumors had it that he was dedicating this album to the Lord, that he was working on.
And I was waiting for a project like that from X, because I said, you know what, he's gonna drop a gospel album. And before X went, I said this brother have a personal walk and talk with Jesus, and I said, he's gonna come up. He's gonna drop in the gospel album, and I'm waiting for that. Because when he drops a gospel album, that is gonna wake up. That's gonna blow the industry's mind that this guy is. He don't care what status he is. He's gonna just give the glory all to God, and that right there,
man.
It's gonna be powerful, man. And oh man, but y'all, whoever's listening, go tune in to his records. Go tune into, especially the album, his spiritual albums. X was coming up with some, and I always enjoyed that song called "Lord Give Me a Sign."
Yeah,
I said that.
X, one thing X did, he always had a song, at every the last song of his album was always like he had the prayer, then he had that song that he's talking to God. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's a song that before I go, I just thought about this. He has a song on his second album, on Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. The song is called "Ready to Meet Him." And "Ready to Meet Him" hits different now that he's gone. And I'm just gonna spit the hook in the third verse just so people understand what I'm saying. So he's like, I'm ready to meet him, cause where I'm living ain't right. Black hate white, white hate black. It's right back to the same fight. They got us suspecting the war, but the real war is to follow the law of the Lord, our Father who art in heaven. I'm not ashamed to ask to ask for your guidance at 27. No longer afraid to knock on your door. Not scared anymore to lose my life in the war. After that, I just saw I'm running with the Lord, because I really can't afford to lose my head by the sword. And now that I've seen what I need to see, please take me where I need to be. What have you learned? It's better to tell the truth than a lie. What have you learned? To live my life until I die. What have you learned? Violence isn't always the key. What have you learned? You can't always believe what you see. What have you learned? It's better to forgive and forget. What have you learned? Give as you expect to get. What have you learned? That I can't go on without you. What have you learned? I must have been a fool to ever doubt you.
Amen. Yo, I gotta go tune into that, man. Listen to streaming. Go. If y'all are familiar with DMX music, go stream it. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
you can't miss it. It's everywhere. You can't miss the man music, because these tunes right here, you can't get enough of, man. You can't get enough.
Yeah.
Go tune in. Go on Apple Music. DMX music is everywhere. Go check the man out.
Yeah.
Yo, and my last words to say is condolences.
Yes.
To his family.
Yeah. His children. Yeah. All of that. His whole family.
His children.
Yeah.
His children.
Yeah.
Condolences to the Rough Riders family.
Yes.
Condolences. Enough condolences. Condolences to, I think, Swiss and Tim was close.
Yeah.
Condolences to them too. Yeah.
God bless the family of Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys, man, because Swiss Beats is going through it, man. That was his brother. He stayed down with DMX even when people left him. You know what I'm saying? He's one of X's, truest friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hurting for them, man, because their friend's not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Jay-Z, shout outs to Ja Rule, because Irv Gotti, all of them, they love him, man. They love X. They did. I don't care what beefs happen, little mini beefs, but at the end of the day, they still love that brother, man. And he loved them back.
Love him,
And he loved them back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all go through our little wars and battles, but at the end of the day, it was all love, man. And I'm gonna miss DMX.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So.
All right. Any last? I know I said this, but one last thing, and then we're gonna close the show.
Okay.
Zacchaeus, if you got one last thing to say.
Okay. What I want to say is, man, if we tune into his music, rock his music, let his legacy live on through us. Remember, X left a legacy to do what you got to do now. If you're going to do something, if you're going to do, especially if it's positive, if you're going to do something positive as far as music, do it now. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. And that's what I learned from X live. Although you go through your struggles and tribulations, but you still continue your journey, no matter what.
Yeah.
Bless it. Yeah.
All right. Zacchaeus, let people know where they can reach you, man, your social medias and all that.
Reach me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wayne Zacchaeus on Facebook, also on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter, at Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Also on Instagram, Zacchaeus B73.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Y'all can reach me at The Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, this was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. We'll see y'all next time. DMX, we love you, X.
We love you, man. Bless.
Right. Y'all take care. God bless everyone listening. If you've you lost a loved one, my condolences to y'all, and for the ones that are still here, just love on each other, man, because you never know.
You never know. Bless. Yeah.
May God be the number one source in your life, and may the voice of Christ always stay with you.
Amen.
All right. Peace and God bless, man. We'll see y'all next time.
Next time. Peace.